Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. So, did a video earlier today in regards to the interaction between Terence Crawford and Teofimo Lopez, which I found to be quite interesting, specifically in regards to who has the better resume. And I kind of highlighted exactly why I felt that you have to really understand what you're measuring in order to really make that determination, right? So, thought that was a good discussion. And I'm going to bring another one to you because Terence Crawford made another comment that, quite frankly, is part of the reason why I've never really truly embraced Terence Crawford, because he contradicts himself quite often, and in reality it can make him seem very disingenuous, at least from my perspective, because when you think about just his overall commentary and his overall demeanor and personality, and you combine all these different things together, for me personally it can be quite unappealing. Now, Crawford made a comment. I'm going to bring the comment up here. Actually, let me flip to this comment here real quick and read off this comment. This is what he had to say to Teofimo Lopez. At Teofimo Lopez, if you can beat Israel Madrimov in your next fight, I'll fight you. Deal? Question mark. He has a smiling emoji, and then he said, let's see how serious you want to fight me. So here's the challenge that I have with that, and I think it's twofold. Number one, no one waits in line necessarily to fight Terence Crawford because Terence Crawford is not a major draw. So if someone is actually interested in fighting Terence Crawford, it's not about getting a payday. In reality, it's about knocking off someone that they perceive has a weakness, and it's not necessarily what people have projected him to be. And I don't have an issue with that, right? Now, the one thing that I will say is that Teofimo is at 140 pounds. Right now, Terence Crawford is at 154, so that's a two-weight class difference. Do I really want to see Teofimo move up 2 weight classes? That's a pretty big jump. Never fought at 147 pounds. So I can see the rationale in regards to Terence Crawford and why he would say that he needs to move up to fight Israel Madrimov. However, there's been a theme of this lately because we are hearing the same type of stuff with Jaron Ennis. Jaron Ennis needs to move up to 154 pounds and win a title first before he gets the opportunity to face Terence Crawford. Why? Again, he's looking to be great. And according to most boxing fans, that's what they want. But for whatever reason, the contingent of Terence Crawford fans, they don't want other fighters to, quote unquote, chase greatness. You need to do any and everything else in order to get an opportunity for a guy that doesn't put a lot of cheeks in seats. Why? I don't understand it. That's number one. But here's the biggest issue I have with it. Because right here on this channel, I've made this comment in the past, and I have been vilified by certain individuals, some, not all, but the ones that are upset, they're the loudest, specifically in the comment section. And I made the comment, Terence Crawford wants to move up and fight Canelo Alvarez. Well, if you want the chance to fight Canelo Alvarez, show us that you're serious. Show us that you can be competitive in a fight like that, moving up virtually 3 weight classes because you've only fought one time at 154 pounds. If you truly want that fight and you're serious about that fight, move up and fight David Benavidez. The man has already said that he will be interested in avenging his brother's loss. That would be an amazing fight with your name value, right? Because you're a draw according to yourself. So at the end of the day, why aren't you moving up to do that? Now, let me pause here and make sure I clarify this, because I know a lot of people struggle with comprehension, most of which are some of these Terence Crawford fans that follow this channel. So let me make sure that I'm clear. I understand all the accomplishments that Terence Crawford has made in his career. Get it, got it, done, understand it. I also understand that Teofimo Lopez does not have the same level of accomplishments as Terence Crawford. Get it, got it, done. It makes sense. So if Teofimo Lopez needs to move up and he doesn't have the experience of Terence Crawford in all these different aspects, I get it. He's not in that class, so he shouldn't, according to some of you guys, because I know this is the argument you're going to make, he shouldn't have the ability to just go right to Bud because he hasn't done enough, right? That's perfectly fine if you want to make that argument, because Teofimo, relative to Terence Crawford, has not done enough. But similarly, Terence Crawford, relative to Canelo Alvarez, has not done enough. And when I say done enough, I mean done enough near that weight class. Let me make that clear. Done enough near that weight class. Listen, if you are near that weight class, if Teofimo was fighting at 147 pounds, I would say Teofimo has done enough in his career to get an opportunity to fight Terence Crawford. Hell, David Avanesian fought him. He got a chance. Madrimov only had 11 fights. He got the opportunity to fight him. So clearly, if he was near the weight class, Teofimo has done enough, being not undisputed, but at least unified champion at a lower weight division and a champion in 2 different weight divisions in order to get the opportunity to fight Terence Crawford. He's done enough. Terence Crawford relative to Canelo Alvarez and where Canelo Alvarez is currently, his weight division, hasn't done anything, right? So if one dude needs to move up to prove how serious he is to fight this individual, why doesn't Terence Crawford have to move up and prove it? He's not Floyd. He doesn't have the drawing power as a Floyd Mayweather. He doesn't have the drawing power like that to just move up into a weight class and get that opportunity. What are we talking about here? So how is it that you're sitting up here and you're telling this guy that he needs to do something to get an opportunity to fight you, but you don't believe that you need to do anything to get the opportunity to fight Canelo Alvarez? Make it make sense. You ain't done nothing. Nothing at 160 or 168. Nothing. So you've done a lot in lower weight classes, but you really haven't even done anything at 54 outside beat a guy with 11 wins. So how is it that you're making an argument that this guy needs to prove himself when you don't? To show us that you serious, not that necessarily that you're serious, but that you can be a serious competitor to Canelo Alvarez. Because right now, a lot of us don't believe you will be competitive in that fight against Canelo Alvarez because you're too small. And I hear all the arguments about the measurables and all that other stuff. I really don't care anything about measurables and all that stuff. Measurables, this is the first time I've even heard anything about measurables. Like all of a sudden, this has been something that's made up by Terence Crawford fans. Weight class. It's not the measurables class. It's not the reach class. It's not the height class. It's the weight class, right? So a lot of us don't believe that he's going to be competitive. We don't believe, Bud, that you are going to be competitive at 168 pounds. We saw Mel not be competitive at 168 pounds, and Mel is bigger than you. I get it that you supposedly are more skilled than Jermell Charlo. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. But weight classes for a reason. So if Teofimo needs to do something in order to show that he's serious about facing you, Jaron Ennis has to do something in order to show that they're serious or that he's serious about facing you. And Jaron Ennis is only a weight class below you. Teofimo is 2 weight classes below you. And that's really just here recently. I mean, just a few months ago, he was only 1 weight class below you. Then why don't you need to show us that you can be competitive or that you deserve to be at 168 pounds to fight the best fighter at 168 pounds? Why don't you have to prove that? Why don't you have to show that you can be a serious competitor to that fighter? It makes no sense to me. I've never understood that rationale. And you can miss me with all this. Terence Crawford has done this, and he's been undisputed at two weight classes, and he fought this and that. I'm talking about what have you done at a weight class that is close, a weight class, that weight class or below. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about what have you done in your entire career. Because just based off what you've done in your entire career, Teofimo Lopez, being almost undisputed and a 2-division champion, has done enough to face Terence Crawford too. What are we talking about here? Because there's been guys with a resume that is nowhere near that of Teofimo Lopez that have gotten the opportunity to fight Terence Crawford. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast and Sports Media, and I am out.